What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I'm reviewing the second Nike Air Fear of God 1, the light bone colorway. I know this review is a little bit late, it's like a couple weeks behind schedule, but that's because I ended up getting this pair of sneakers a little bit late. I actually traded my pair of EU Off-White 1s that weren't even close to my size to round 2, and in exchange, I got the light bone colorway and the black colorway as well as some cash. If you haven't seen that vlog, it's with name branded Tom, make sure to check it out by clicking the link at the top of the screen. So that's the reason this review is a little bit late, and also this review is going to be more of a colorway review than a technical review of the shoe because I've actually already reviewed the Nike Air Fear of God 1s in black. This lace is pissing me off. What's going on? So if you want to learn more about the tech specs of this sneaker, once again, make sure to click the link at the top of the screen. I'll also put end cards at the end of the video so you don't have to skip this video to watch this review. But getting into the sneaker itself, this is the second release, at least here in the US. In Europe, I believe they released it at the same time. Of course, the most obvious difference between this pair and the previous pair is the colorway. It's almost like a night and day difference. You've got the black pair, which was black, and then you've got the light bone colorway, which comes in this sort of very light sort of gray colorway. But jumping into the upper itself, you've got this 3M accent that runs around the toe of the sneaker and really doesn't look 3M until you hit it with the right light. It kind of just blends in with the upper of the shoe. Just above that, like the original black pair, you've got this really soft suede toe cap. However, unlike the original black pair, the suede actually continues all the way up the sneaker. On the black pair, a majority of the upper is mesh, whereas on the light bone colorway, it looks like they went for a slightly more premium touch with the entire upper being covered in suede. I actually really love the way it wrinkles under the laces. It gives it a much more premium and much more designer feel. I also really love this light bone colorway. I think this light gray or tan or whatever mix of those two colors that it is looks really great on this shoe. The one downside to that though is that because it's a much lighter colorway, it'll pick up dirt so much more easily. And not only that, but because the entire upper is suede, it has a much higher chance of getting nappy. So if I ever actually build up the balls to rock this sneaker, I'll probably spray it with a bunch of Rejuvenator or just only ever wear it in the summer. As you continue up the center of the sneaker, you've got this light tan nylon strap that actually turns into a pull tab at the top of the shoe. Of course, like the original, you've got these really thick rope laces that match the upper of the sneaker. And then as you continue back on the sneaker, you've got this giant triangular light bone midfoot cage. As I said in the previous review, I love this midfoot cage. I think it's a really unique detail and it really defines the upper of the shoe. Near the front of the midfoot cage, you've got this glossy black embossed Nike swoosh, which I think adds a really nice contrast to the upper of the shoe. One thing I really like about the light bone colorway over the black colorway is that even though there are still some glue marks around the midfoot cage, because the glue marks are on a much lighter upper, you just don't see them. Whereas on the black colorway of the shoe, they were a much lighter color and just really stood out. Moving inside the sneaker, you've got this perforated tan suede sock liner and insole. And of course, like I said in the previous review, getting into the sneaker is somewhat of a chore. One, because the zipper is pain in the ass to actually open. Also be careful when you're opening the zipper too, because there have been a lot of reports of people breaking their zippers and you don't want to do that on a $900 shoe. But once you actually get the rear zipper open, you've got this sort of shoehorn or rear tongue that helps you slide your foot into the sneaker. And even with that, it's still kind of a pain to get your foot into and out of. On the back of this rear tongue type thing, you've got the Nike Air Fear of God logo and also your size, if you want to know. As for fit, the Nike Air Fear of God 1 does fit slightly big. However, that does come with some caveats because this sneaker, although it looks wide, is a pretty narrow shoe. I have narrow feet, so it doesn't really bother me, and I probably should have gone down half a size in this shoe, but if you have wide feet, maybe go with your true size, or maybe just don't grab the shoe. If you do somehow get a chance to try the shoe on first before you buy it, make sure to do that, because if you don't grab the right size, you're going to be spending a lot of money on a shoe that you take home and just find out that it doesn't fit very well. That being said, I went true to size even though I probably should have gone down half a size. It isn't unbearable though, and I can work with true to size. Moving around to the back of the sneaker, we've got that zipper that I talked about before. You've also got this sort of weird break in the midfoot cage, which I talked about in the last review, and I just don't like. Continuing down on the sneaker, you've got your embossed Nike logo in gloss, and then you've also got your embossed Fear of God logo. I've always liked the super minimal branding touches on this shoe. I feel like this black Nike swoosh is probably the most overt branding on the entire sneaker, and even then, it's still a pretty small touch. Moving down on the sneaker, you've got this nice white midsole that actually contains double stacked Nike Air, which feels incredible underfoot. The first Air unit is full length and is actually visible if you pull out the insole of the shoe. The second Air unit is just in the heel, and you can actually see it through this semi-translucent rubber. Both of those Air units actually make for a surprisingly comfortable ride, and and it makes sense when you think about the fact that this sneaker was designed to be used on court, which, let's be honest, is kind of surprising. I do actually love the fact that Jerry Lorenzo opted to use premium materials on a basketball sneaker. That hasn't been done for years, and I just love the fact that he's taken it back like that. One of my favorite parts about the midsole is that they actually made it flush with the midfoot cage, which means there's no sort of ridges or edges. It's a super subtle but beautiful detail, and I just love the way it looks. In the center of the midfoot, you've got some embossed text that says Air Fear of God, and also has Jerry Lorenzo's grandfather's service number. And then just behind that, you've got this rectangular cutout, which apparently is now a signature of the Air Fear of God Nike collaboration, and that actually houses this icy semi-translucent blue rubber. Finally, moving to the bottom of the sneaker, you've got this sort of circular ripple traction pattern. Overall, the Nike Air Fear of God 1 in light bone, in my opinion, is the better of the two colorways. But that's purely from a personal aesthetic point of view. I just love the way this color looks. I love the more premium materials on the upper. However, functionally, I think the black pair is much more realistic because you can actually wear it and it doesn't get dirty as quickly. I'm really excited to see what Nike and Jerry Lorenzo cook up next, because if it's anything like this, it's gonna be dope. But that pretty much wraps up my thoughts on the light bone colorway. Now, I would love to know your thoughts on this sneaker and whether this is a shoe that you would consider picking up, so make sure to leave those comments in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe down below if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.